Ignore it. It's fine.
Hello, everyone. It is Monday. Is it October?
October.
It's October 5th. It is Halloween month. This is Facerollin. Let's get this show on the road.
All right,
Uh,
Halloween month, my favorite month.
Halloween month is best month. I don't know what I'm dressing up as, or even if I'm gonna go anywhere, or dress up as necessary. Um, yeah. So let's talk about what we played. I played something like 40 hours of a game I don't really like.
Wow,
That's impressive.
that's usually my MO.
Oh,
What
actually make it 50. Like
what did you?
exactly 50. I started when I had 101 hours played of the game, and now I have 151 hours.
Is it Skyrim?
It is Skyrim. A game that I really, really don't like, but I was like really tired of playing New Vegas, and I was like, I just want to explore shit. So I started playing Skyrim.
Did it get that itch for you?
Yeah, yeah. Like at no point while playing it did I feel like I was having fun. Like I don't like Skyrim.
So what persuaded you to start playing it again in the first place? Was there like a new mod out for it or
I
something like
don't
that?
remember. I think my girlfriend's roommate was playing it, and then we like got in a conversation about it or something, and I was like, I guess I'm gonna play.
All right.
And now 50 hours later, and I hate myself.
All right. If you walked away from that Skyrim save file right now, is
Yeah.
there anything in it you would miss?
Not really,
Okay.
but I'm gonna keep playing it. Like just by chance, I have almost all the Daedric artifacts except for maybe one or two.
Okay.
I have like 5 Dragon Priest masks. I'm head of the Mages Guild. I'm a war hero because I joined the Imperials and I like finished that campaign.
Okay.
Uh,
This is not a light sampling of Skyrim. This is a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. I have like literally I have about 85% of the map discovered and cleared.
All right.
I'm an efficient player.
And you had a lot of fun while playing it, right?
No, I have no fun.
Yeah. Okay.
I hate the game. And not only do I hate the game, I'm playing it the second to least fun way, which is a sneaky archer, because there's no challenge.
Yeah. Oh, I do remember that part of Skyrim where it was like getting sneak attack damage as an archer did an outrageous amount of damage.
Yeah, I mean, it triples your bow damage.
Right.
Um, and yeah, it's not fun. It's really easy, and I'm not gonna ever be a mage because like the magic system is god awful and cumbersome, and so is the melee system.
Yeah. I mean that's kind of how I felt about Skyrim too. Like
Yeah,
I don't know why, but like I played Morrowind, and Morrowind has a very similar system to it, but for some reason I was more forgiving of it when it was Morrowind.
because
I
Morrowind had like so much more interesting stuff.
maybe.
Like you could like make a potion that makes you jump so high that you die when you land.
Yeah, I always had fun doing that. I think part of it might also just be like I feel like with Morrowind, like those mechanics felt normal for that time, but
Hmm.
then Skyrim it feels like everything around those mechanics advanced and the mechanics themselves didn't.
Not only didn't they not advance, they got worse. Because there's less stuff to do. They removed the magic crafting system that was in Oblivion. They
That's
removed
right,
like
yeah.
stat progression that was also in Oblivion.
That's right, yeah.
Um, yeah, it's just I don't like Skyrim. It's a bad game that I can't stop playing.
But like that's it's a very popular game.
Yeah, I know, and I hate it even more for it.
Well, then why do you keep going back to it? What compels you?
No, I
What's
don't keep going back to it. I've played a total of like twice. I played
It's a
it
very
once for like
thorough
100
choice.
hours. And now I'm like at hour 50 or so of my new playthrough.
That's okay, I understand.
God,
And
thing.
I completely understand to some extent.
Yeah, and the writing is awful. The voice acting is bad.
Oh yeah, that was one of the things that turned me off to Skyrim immediately. Actually, it was like the very first 5 minutes, you're stuck in a carriage with people talking about shit that you don't understand and have no like context for yet.
Yeah, and you as a character might as well have not existed in the world like before that moment.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you have no history in the world. No one knows who you are. You have no relatives.
Yeah, but you're going to be executed for some bad thing that you did that you don't know.
Yeah, and you're the chosen one no matter what it is for. You're the chosen one for everything.
Yeah, right.
Like, for the Dark Brotherhood, only the chosen one can talk to the Night Mother. You're the chosen one, by the way.
Yeah, good thing.
Like, I beat, like, all the Mage's Guild stuff with a bow and arrow.
Man, they don't care.
Yeah, it wasn't even enchanted or anything. It was just
Yeah,
a
you just
regular
had-
bow and arrow.
They needed shit done. You got it did.
Yeah. And then I became the Archmage, even though I didn't invest a single point into any spell. I mean, into any, the school of magic.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's like a guideline. It's not a requirement.
Yeah, as long as you can cast the most basic spells and, like, use a staff, you're golden. You got it. You're an Archmage.
Maybe you were like pretending to cast spells, and it really impressed them.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm gonna shoot metal out of my hands using this stick and this string.
Yeah,
Watch.
using this curved staff with a string running along. Yeah, so I played a fuck ton of that, and I don't even have my favorite mod, which is Macho Man Randy Savage Dragons. I played some City Skylines because my girlfriend got the expansion, and I share an account with her.
Nice.
And I didn't get to any of the expansion stuff because it's like a little bit further, like in population caps.
What did the expansion add?
They added day and night cycles, which change how traffic flows. Like certain areas produce more traffic during the night or during the day. They introduced commercial specializations. So you can specialize your commercial districts as either like leisure or tourism and like stuff like that. They have a bunch of waterfront like stuff you can plop down that you can only plop down on the coast.
Okay.
They added bicycle paths as well as bicycle upgrades for roads.
Cool.
As well as bicycles in general.
Does that help transportation problems?
Yes, because it's like walking but faster.
Okay.
So and there's like a thing that like encourages biking, so more people bike. They added an international airport, which brings in a lot more people and is connected to the metro, I believe.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And they introduced a cargo hub thing, which is, for cargo ships, but also is connected to rail.
Cool.
And
as these are all things that exist.
yes, and that's basically it. Oh, and taxis and like a few other things.
Cool.
Yes, so I played that a little bit. I played a lot of Catacomb Kids, which is really fucking hard.
What is Catacomb Kids?
So, Catacomb Kids is a randomly generated, like, die once and you restart.
If only
Are
they
you
had a name for
serious?
those kinds of games.
But this time it's a platformer and it's really cool. Because everything is like super, super interactable. So there's a bunch of like potions, which when you pick them up, you don't know what they do.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
that's
Like
yeah,
you
that's
only know the
classic.
color of them.
That's
You can
classic
drink them,
roguelike stuff.
but it could like set you on fire or poison you or heal you or restore your mana. So a better thing to do is to like throw it at an enemy and see what it does to the enemy. Or if you set it on fire, by like knocking over like a torch or something, the potion will explode and like fill the room with like a gas version of whatever the potion is.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. And then like there's like a cooking system where you can cook food.
Oh wow.
There's like a meal system where like whenever you eat something, it like shows up in like the sidebar. And like once you eat 5 different things, depending on what things you eat, it gives you a different buff.
Whoa.
There's equipment, there's stats, there's spells. Like it's a really, really in-depth game that's currently in alpha.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So when it comes to the potions, on subsequent runs, after you know what a potion does it tell you, or do you never know? So you just have to learn and then remember.
Learn and remember whatever it does for that run, because all the potion effects get scrambled when you restart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I'm all for randomness and for like making a player have to pay attention, but I feel like maybe that might be a step too far.
No, it's exactly the way pills work in Binding of Isaac.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't like it there either. But yeah, it's true.
Like it's a risk-reward thing.
It is. No, it's like I get what they're going for. I can respect it. But I kind of wish that there was some kind of knowledge you could glean from a previous run.
Nope.
But nope. That's fine.
The longer you hold a potion, the more of its characteristics you notice.
Oh,
like,
really?
Sometimes it'll be like this blue potion is like really viscous and like swirls like nonstop.
So
but I think it's just flavor text. I don't know if it actually corresponds with anything.
Oh, okay, got it. It would be kind of cool if the longer you held on to it, the more hints you got about what it might do.
God, I wish. There's also like you know, you pick up weapons and there's like 4 slots of armor. And it's very, very, very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Every level contains an orb which you pick up and levels you up.
Oh, cool.
But like you can use it whenever you want.
So you can like hold on to it and use it later?
Yes, because using it restores your health.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so you might want to hold on for it later in case you take some damage.
Does it happen fast enough that you could use it like mid-combat, or does it take?
No, it takes like half a second to use.
Okay.
And combat is super quick. Like every time you like meet like an orc or Grummel as they're called in the game, there's almost like a 50% chance of you dying within like 2 seconds of it, like fighting it.
Good lord.
Yeah, it's very hard. I think I made it to floor 3 once.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, I may take a look at that. That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. And then I played. That's basically it, actually.
All right.
Yeah. Kelly, what have you played?
I have played Euro Truck Simulator and Lego Marvel. I actually haven't played that much. I'm sorry, guys. But I did beat story mode for Lego Marvel Superheroes, and it was a pretty good game. And then I checked out the story progression and realized I had only gotten through about 17% of the game.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay, So that's awesome that they have all that content, but I don't know if I'm going to play through it.
Is it like each character has like another story? Is that what's going on? Like,
there's a lot of side quests and stuff,
okay.
And there's also a lot of Easter eggs within the levels that you can only access through different mutants that you don't have access to in story mode. So, for example, there on the first level, there's some magnetic stuff that you can interact with, but you can't because you don't get Magneto until towards the end of the game.
Gotcha. So you have to go back as Magneto and do it that way.
Yeah, which, like, that's cool that you can do that and all, but I kind of wish that they had just made this like a 60-hour, story game,
Right.
Like,
is this the game where you can unlock Stan Lee as a character?
Probably.
Okay.
I would not. Yeah, you can also unlock Deadpool. I heard that it's really hard to do that. But I mean, it has a great variety of characters. I really enjoyed the game. I think it's totally worth like $12. That
Yeah. I've always enjoyed those Lego games for what they are.
Yeah.
And
I played the Star Wars
one in a Marvel universe sounds like a thing I could get behind.
yeah, and yeah, Euro Truck Simulator 2 is great. Can't wait for American Truck Simulator to come out. I'm actually really considering getting that $200 Logitech driving attachment.
I mean, you've
essentially proven that you're going to continue playing this game.
You've put
Yeah.
significant time investment into your Euro Truck Simulator empire at this point.
I have like 52 hours played
Mhm.
of it. I should just do it.
That's a lot of piles of cocaine moved across it.
I'll let you guys know if I decide to get that.
Okay,
So yeah, but that's it for me. I'm sorry, guys.
that's
Trevor.
cool. Marvel's good. I played a few things.
Just a few,
Yeah.
just here and there.
So the first one that I guess I want to talk about is, I'm afraid to bring it up again, but Metal Gear Solid 5. I finished it.
Oh, how are the tits?
He could pay more to put clothes on her. It was very
Well,
exciting.
sort of. So you can eventually unlock an alternate costume for Quiet that's like an actual like military outfit. But it costs like 5,000 to deploy her with it, so she was not getting that.
Oh my gosh.
That's too much.
Clothing for women is really expensive these days, you guys.
So I don't want to spoil too much of the game. But it's been a long time since I've played a game that is that mechanically sound and impressive. Like, I had a really fun time playing the game. But even as someone who usually enjoys the insanity that is a Metal Gear's like story, I thought it was terrible. Like the storyline of Metal Gear 5, I don't think is good. I don't think it's handled particularly well. I think there are moments of promise that get completely dropped. And I don't want to go into detail because the game's still pretty new and there's probably still people that are like catching up and finishing it. But as is the case with every Metal Gear game, there's a revelation at the end of the game. And I think that this particular revelation is super lazy and lame. And an example that Brad Shoemaker at Giant Bomb used was like at the end of The Sixth Sense, one of the cats is going crazy for a bag. But
No, oh my god, she's in it.
oh no,
She's
oh
in
god.
this paper bag. It's pretty cute. She doesn't fit. And it's ripping.
So at the end of The Sixth Sense, once you learn what happens, it puts the whole thing in a new context. I don't feel like that happens with Metal Gear 5 at
You learn
all.
what happens at the end, you're like, okay, why didn't you just tell me that at the beginning? Things would have been less confusing.
Yeah, so like it's hard to talk about. So I think I should just move on to another game. because I
One
can't-
sec though.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is gonna help you put it in the correct context.
Right.
Konami trademarked a new thing.
Did they really? What did they trademark?
The name Big Boss
Are you serious?
for a pachinko machine.
Are you It explains. Everything's clear now. Everything makes sense.
You have to trade
All of
it.
the pieces of the Metal Gear timeline have fallen into place. Big Boss was never human. He was a pachinko machine that was cloned 3 times.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Perfect.
And I am serious. I did do that.
Oh no! I knew you were serious because Konami is exactly the kind of company to do that kind of dumb shit right now. This is the same company that looked at Guillermo del Toro and Hideo Kojima and said, "No, we don't want money. We don't want
We don't need
any money.
we don't
Just you
need
take
that
your
money."
game and you get out of here." Okay, so yeah. Anyway, I should probably move off of Metal Gear 5 because I don't want to get into specifics.
You can't tell that you're bitter about that, Trevor. Not at all.
What about Metal Gear 5 or about PT?
About Konami.
Oh yeah, no, I'm super upset that PT is gone. I'm super pissed. But that's old news. I've
Yes.
made my peace with it, except for occasionally when I remember Konami's a company, and then it opens old wounds, and I get mad again.
Confusing.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think Konami's going to last long. Let me just get that out there right now. I think they're done. Like, I think Metal Gear 5 was the last gasp of a company that is now going to specifically make pachinko machines and stupid mobile games.
Oh
Because
yeah. They fired their software technology director.
Right, yeah. And like
No,
they
they
even
quit.
said like we're not going to do AAA games anymore. Like
Yeah,
they're done.
except for Pro Evolution Soccer.
Oh, great.
Yeah, no, they discontinued all manufacturing of software other than Pro Evolution Soccer.
Great. Well, I'm sure those 10 Pro Evolution Soccer fans will be very pleased to know that their franchise continues.
It's super
was
popular
on.
in Japan.
That's true, it is. But yeah, like, okay, enough about
Yes,
Konami.
yes.
There
What
were
else have
other
you
games
played?
that I played that aren't made by
It's true,
Konami.
and they were way better.
They
Games
were.
that you possibly have streamed.
Yeah, so the next one is Final Fantasy 13-2.
It's better?
What?
It's better than Metal Gear Solid 5?
No, it's better than Konami.
Lots of things.
But
are
it's
better
not.
than
It's
that.
not. I would not say that game is better than Metal Gear 5. Like Metal Gear 5. Don't get me wrong. The playing of that game is a lot of fun. It's just the story stuff that falls a little flat. The actual like gameplay mechanics are great. Final Fantasy 13 too. The first. So I streamed a little bit of it, and Caps watched the first half hour. And yeah.
No, I
the
watched
first-
like the first hour or so.
Okay, so like the first half hour of the game, it immediately just like throws you into this giant boss battle and doesn't give you any context as to what's going on at all. So that was all really confusing and dumb. But now that I'm about like 8 hours into the game, it makes sense, and like it's a strange thing to say, but I actually so far enjoy it more than 13.
Really?
Yeah, so it's it's weird because like that's still not a high bar. Like considering how much I hate 13, all the game had to do was not like choke on its own tongue and die to be
And
better,
It would be successful.
and it did that. So a couple of things I like about 13.2 is, for one, there's only 2 characters in the game. So right away I have less people I need to try and pay attention to. So that's great. The other great thing about 13.2 is Lightning is nowhere in the game.
So far.
Not as a main character anyway. Like she's off stuck in this weird like time loop where she's stuck in an eternal battle with some other dude. And the whole game is about Sarah trying to figure out how to get to Lightning and save her by jumping through time.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
you're trying everything in your power to avoid this happening?
Something? I don't know. Like they're not. The goal is not clear except for get to Lightning and try to save her. However that happens, either getting to her there or like stopping it from occurring in the first place. Whatever.
Save the lightning, save the world.
Yeah, save the world. Whatever. Save the cheerleader. Save the world. Like so that alone actually kind of makes the game a little bit better, just because the goal is actually a thing that I know. Whereas in 13, everyone was just running around, like, bouncing into stuff until stuff happened. And I never had a clear goal, like, a clear idea in 13 of what was going on. So already, 13.2 is making great strides towards being a better game. It's not good. It's still not good. Like, a lot of the same problems are still there. So, like, one of my biggest complaints about 13 was that the combat system was super lazy, and you could just mash A to get through everything. They didn't change anything in 13.2. That combat system is exactly the same.
Oh man.
It is like down to the pair. The only thing they changed is the third party member slot, because there's only 2 people now. The third party member slot is you have to capture monsters, and then they take up that third slot.
What? Really?
Yeah. So basically, they added Pokemon to Final Fantasy 13.
Oh.
Yeah, so you get a monster, and the monster has a role. Like, it'll be like a medic or a commando or a ravager, and then you make your paradigms, and you put the monsters in the third slot. And so when you switch to one paradigm, you'll have, like, the cure monster out, and when you switch to another, you'll have, like, the commando monster out.
Oh.
And so, like, it works. It's okay. There's more to do in combat than just mash A, at least now, because sometimes the monster gets to do a special, like, quick time event attack. but it's still not great. Like, the battle system's still lame, but overall, it's an improvement. It's not much of an improvement, but it's much more tolerable. Like, I know what's going on. Probably one of the best things that it has changed is the level design. Because 13, like, I am not unique to this opinion. That game's a hallway. Like, that game is just a 60-hour long hallway. That is all it is. 13.2 has much more, like, expansive areas. They're not huge, but they do have other branching paths, and they kind of loop back around on each other. So there's actually stuff that you can explore and feel like you found that was off the beaten path, because there's another path you can take. So it's a huge improvement overall from 13. Again, not great, but overall better. And this is going to be a recurring thing on this show for a while, because I'm only playing like an hour of the game whenever I have the time, so it's going to be a long road.
Wait, do you know how long the game is?
Judging from just the select screen, so this game has a time travel mechanic. Because they handled a linear plot so well that clearly one that involves time travel is a good next step. So the whole thing is about finding these little nodes that allow you to travel to different points in time, and when you're selecting those, you can see the full, like, all of the different time slots that will eventually be filled. If every area is as big as each one, I would say each area is probably about an hour before you get to the next one.
Oh, wow.
And I would say there are probably at least 40 nodes.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be a long game.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Thrilled. So thrilled.
Yeah, it's been a good thing.
So thrilled. Oh, man. Oh, you know what? There is one other improvement. It is much easier to understand equipment. So that's good.
Do they still have the kind of like sphere grid type of point investment?
So that's been changed a little bit too in 13.2. It's the same kind of concept where you level up a roll, but instead of like holding down the A button to like make a line fill up or something, you just hit A to level up which roll you want to level up, and then you'll hit little landmarks in each class that give the character a buff instead of the class. So
okay, cool.
You'll hit like 15 in Commando, and then it'll be like, okay, do you want to unlock like a new role for this character, or do you want to increase the amount of accessories you can equip? And so you get to make some choices now as you're leveling the character as to like what you want to prioritize. I don't know if it's an improvement yet. Mainly because like the things that you're unlocking don't seem super like they don't like at no point has it been like, do you want to increase this character's attack value, or do you want to increase this character's like total HP? It's been like, do you want to unlock this thing that you're probably going to eventually unlock anyway? But
you're like, I don't know, do I want to? Will you just do it for me later?
I guess it ultimately depends on whether or not the choices I'm making actually matter, and they're not just like things I'm going to get eventually no matter what, or if I'm actually choosing like am I actually locking myself out of being able to equip another accessory later in the game by not choosing it? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Because if that's the case, then that choice like really matters. But if it doesn't, then those nodes seem to come up often enough that I don't know if it's really going to have much of an impact. But either way, it's still more choices than you ever made in 13's sphere grid.
That is very true.
Yeah, and there's like there are still arbitrary like caps on how far you can level a certain class before you have to go level another, but it's not as bad as 13, where it just felt like there was no reason to go in the sphere grid at all.
Yeah.
So again, improvement. It's all small improvements, nothing big, but they're improvements.
Do you think
the dog is no longer peeing in the middle of the carpet? We've now relegated him to the corner of the carpet.
No,
they're still peeing in their house.
he's outside and on the patio, but his pee is still going inside. So you got the dog outside. He's just not peeing in the right spot. It's closer than that. What were you gonna say, Kelly?
Do you think that they had a lessons learned, in Square Enix after 13?
No.
Is that the feel?
No.
This was
I
accidental.
think maybe with Lightning Returns they did, because I've heard that game completely overhauled the mechanics and it does something completely different. 13.2, I don't feel like enough changed to suggest to me that they actually took a critical eye to 13. In fact, the way 13.2 is designed suggests to me that maybe they were already working on it before they had even released 13, because so much of the game is the same. Not only that, but also it's somehow lazier than 13 in terms of just its design. Even though it's still better, I noticed a lot of strange things. There's a lot of weird frame rate hiccups. There's a lot of lazier lower res textures everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So 13.2 feels to me like a game that they had already planned on working on, had already set aside a development staff to get going before 13 was even out the door. And I have no proof of this. It's just that's the feeling I get based on how long that game is and how much production time it must have had, and then when it came out. Mm-hmm. So, and then also based on the fact that they changed small things but nothing huge. So I don't think they really learned anything with 13.2. I really don't think there was ever a moment where they looked back and said, how can we fix this? I do think that the story is a little more focused. So maybe whoever I don't think that it was written by the same person. Because I believe Tetsuya Nomura was had total creative control on 13, but he only did character designs in 13.2. So that might be the difference that makes the plot a little bit better. But I don't think much time was spent looking over 13. No.
I'm peeking into Final Fantasy 15 right now. Now that we're talking about Final Fantasy and stuff, and just quickly perusing Wikipedia, it turns out I think they're going to adopt a more of a Kingdom Hearts-like approach to the battle system.
Yeah, they are. So
that makes sense because the guy in charge is the same.
Yeah, the demo that came out for 15 that pretty much confirms that. The combat system is much more active, and actually it looks really cool. I got a chance to see some of it, and the character that they were playing as can teleport around the battlefield.
Oh, cool.
And so he would actually be attacking, and then suddenly he would lunge up to some cliffside that the enemies couldn't reach while they waited for his abilities to recharge, and then would teleport back down and start attacking again. So that looked like fun. And yeah, I've also heard that Lightning Returns, they made a pretty significant change to the battle system. So I hope that we never go back to this awful era of Final Fantasy. I hope no one ever looks back on this with fondness.
Until Final Fantasy VII's reworked.
Oh my God! Please.
Battle system is the one from 13.
Oh, I would. I'm not.
I would just cry.
I would cry. I would go through the cycle of grief. I would do that entire thing.
You still play it?
I would bargain. Oh yeah, I would.
He would play it.
I would play it, and I would go
cry
through.
every night.
I would go through the cycles of grief every single day.
I would just come home, and he just wouldn't be a person anymore.
I would.
How was your day? And I played Final Fantasy again. And why? Because I can't stop. I have to see where this train wreck goes. It's gonna get better. And I'd be like, oh babe, no.
I would hit the bargaining stage every day and send an email to Square Enix please unrelease the game, unrelease it and fix it, and it'll be good again, please.
Every day, make a petition on petition.org for them to patch a better system.
Please patch a better battle system in 7. Oh,
every day you will buy it on Steam and then get a Steam refund, hoping that will take it off like Arkham Knight.
And just keep going back and forth.
Yeah, and every day you will buy it again.
I wouldn't put it past him.
That would be a rough cycle. Something would have to give.
We might have to be divorced.
No,
that would happen. I think I might take away all of your credit cards.
That's wise.
and then probably your computer just to keep it safe.
That's probably a good idea.
Until you forgot the game ever existed.
Yeah.
And then I could be like, here you go, you can have this back now.
You probably have to
But
do that.
you wouldn't be allowed to have Steam, and I'd have to tell everyone they're never allowed to suggest it to you. You'd have to intercept the mail because you know Alan and Shane
Al, yeah.
both send you the game because they don't care about your sanity. It'd be a rough existence for me. I would prefer that not happen.
Yeah, I don't think it will. But
Well, we should probably
We can
knock
never
on
be-
like every piece of wood we own.
never be too careful.
Yeah. Tie you to the mast like that one. Iliad.
Odysseus?
Yeah, that's the one. Final Fantasy VII is the sirens.
Oh God.
Okay, what else?
Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about is I played another RPG. I recently watched a lot of the show Steven Universe,
No boy.
and then discovered that there is a game available on most touchscreen devices called Attack the Light. So I played that. And I know I talked about how like Metal Gear 5 story was like disappointing. This
Oh,
Steven
boy.
Universe game basically has no story. It has none.
To be fair, it's
Um,
also a cell phone game.
yeah.
So, like,
But it's also
can
fine.
you really fault
Yeah.
it?
No, I can't. And like the thing that was kind of cool about it is it actually has a fun combat system. Like if you ever played Super Mario RPG, that is the combat system in this game. Like
Huh.
you tap for the character to attack, and then if you tap again at the right time, you get like a timed hit that does extra damage. When enemies attack, you need to watch their animation and tap to defend before they like land their hit.
So like South Park's Stick of Truth's totally original.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like that. And it was actually a lot of fun. Like even though there was virtually no story, it was still a fun game, and it was also fairly short. But it also only cost me $2, so I didn't really feel like it being short was a bad thing.
Sweet.
Yeah. So if you like Steven Universe, like you could do a lot worse than that game.
I don't even know what it is. I know there's a kid.
Yeah.
And people
bunch of
who are
ladies.
gems.
Yeah. We probably should not.
There's
take
a bunch
the
of
time.
ladies.
Yeah.
The ladies can turn into giant ladies. And there's a song about that.
Really, we are not doing that show justice.
I only passingly know that show, and like I'm cringing so hard at this description.
I
The
know
kid
it's
has a dad, and he sings songs.
We probably
I
do
know
not
it's
have time on this
not Gravity
podcast.
Falls or Adventure Time.
Oh my gosh.
We do not have time on this podcast to describe the plot of.
I know Nicki Minaj did a
that was
voice
the
in it.
plot right there.
That was so not the plot of Steven Universe. You were.
Yeah, but Caps doesn't know that. We're fine now.
He has a star on his T-shirt, so I think he might be Space Dandy.
Yeah, he's Space Dandy. That's who he grows up to be. That's Space Dandy is the far sequel to Steven Universe.
What's that cat's name?
Cookie Cat.
Cookie Cat.
Cookie Cat.
He's gonna grow up
Cheshire
as a Cookie
Cat.
Cat.
And that's the last thing that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
That's my last
Oh.
I
thing.
can talk about my singular game now.
Yeah, you can.
Because I played a game, guys, and it's new.
Ooh.
Wait, let me guess. It's that one where you have like an adventure crew and you're like hunting artifacts or something.
It is! It's called Renowned Explorers, and it's by the people that made Ryu's. And I learned about this because Mountain Blade stopped working on my Steambox. And so I was like, fine, fuck you, Mountain Blade. I'm going to play Ryu's. And so I started up Ryu's, and on my startup screen it was like, hey, did you know that we published a new game recently? And I was like, no, I didn't. And I was like, well, come on over to our site and we'll show you what we made. And so I did, and then I
And
bought
first
it.
try is free.
No,
First try?
the first try wasn't even free. They just showed me a picture of it, and they were like, here's the Steam link to buy it on Steam. And I was like, well, there you go. I'll just go ahead and give you money. And I did, and I don't regret it. And it's wonderful. And the art is adorable, which is, all I require, really, to be happy. And it's pretty much exactly as you described it. You are an explorer, and you have two members that you get to pick, and they're kind of racist. So I've been dealing with that. Because all of the characters are from all over the world, right? And you've got lots of costumes. And sometimes they're like, well, we need to add some black people. Black people are from Africa, so let's just make all of them African tribesmen. And I'm like, maybe not, guys. Maybe if we just thought about this for a moment. But they didn't, so that's a thing. And all of the Irish people are like Highlanders. They have sheep. So yeah, it's at least it's universally racist.
Nailed it.
Yeah, definitely nailed it. There's no Americans so far that I found. So there's that.
Well, like the timeline for this game, there probably isn't in America yet, right?
No, they have dirigibles.
Oh.
Look at that dirigible on the screen.
Maybe it's fictional
It's
world.
It's Victorian, like London exists.
Okay.
London's your base, and you're recruiting all these people from, the Explorers Guild. So like, I got one guy from Africa who's got giant gold things on his gigantic chin. And then I think I have a Frenchman that's a sailor. I'm not quite sure what he is, but he has a tiny hat, so I'm going to go with sailor, possibly Popeye. But yeah, so you go around, it's a very short game. You only have 5 expeditions, and your goal is to try to get more than 2,000 renown so that you can beat the terribly annoying Rivieux. I don't know. He's some asshole who swoops in during the tutorial and is like, you didn't get to discover this, I got to discover this. And you're like, fuck you. And then somehow he steals the entirety of whatever it is you found. So like, the first time I was there, I discovered like a Highlander's tomb, like an entire cave system. And he stole it, so he's kind of Carmen Sandiego in that respect. So that starts off a feud with you, and you only have 4 other expeditions, or 5 other expeditions, to get more points than him so that you can beat him at the yearly contest of explorers for, who's the best explorer in the world. So it's sort of, it's kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't call it dungeony. What's the word it is?
Roguelike?
Roguelike, there you go. It's a roguelike. The combat system is pretty much rock, paper, scissors, where you have aggressive, devious, and friendly, which I enjoy, because so far I've only pretty much done devious and friendly. Because everything's so cute, I feel really bad when they die in animation.
Oh.
Because it's like, sometimes what you're fighting is sheep. And I just don't feel good about killing a sheep for no reason other than I want to look at the grass it's standing on. That seems rude. So I've just been doing friendly and devious. And depending on how you beat the whatever it is you're fighting, different events will happen. So sometimes if you're friendly, they'll help you on your expedition and you get free stuff. And sometimes if it's like looters and shit, if you kill them, you get all their loot. So that's awesome. I did one where I found a zombie, which was weird, but I killed it instead of like befriending it, and then all of the towns in the area like knew my name and would give me supplies, which was awesome. So the way it is you're going on your expedition, and you get to pick one of like 3 or 4 expeditions, and that's one of my main complaints about this game so far, because when you look at it, it's the overworld map of like the world, right? And each thing pops up where each event can happen, and so far nothing has happened outside of these like 6 events that I keep getting. And I'm like, guys, are we gonna update this? Because things like I can go and lecture in Africa, but there's only one exploring thing I can do in Africa. And like I can buy gloves from Australia, but I can't go to Australia. So it's sort of scant in the options for each expedition, and they're all levels, so it's like I only have 2 options for level 2. And I'm like, guys, I'd really like more than 2 options. And the game board is different every time, but it's still like the same land and still the same scattering of events can happen. So replay-wise, it sort of starts getting a little stale. But I'm hoping once I unlock everyone as captain, things will open up for me. At least that's my hope. So you have expeditions, and you only get to move. It's all sort of laid out game board-wise, where you can only move 1 space each time, and each space costs a supply, and you only get so many supplies per expedition. And some events will give you more supplies, so you can explore more of the map. But yeah, that's pretty much is how it boils down to, and you just gotta fucking beat up Rivulux, however the fuck you say his name. Rivulux. There's like an X and an E and a U. It's like Rivulux. I'm sure he's French or something. I don't know. But yeah, so you try to beat him, and if you don't beat him, you get some other reward, like you were the most amusing crew, and I'm like, thanks for just throwing me a bone there, game. Fuck you. Just let me restart. So yeah, that's sort of been where I am. I haven't unlocked everyone as captain yet. But it's been fun. I've been replaying it every night. So, I've logged a lot of hours. Definitely paid for itself. And the art's cool. And the dialogue is entertaining. I just wish... I wish that I could either have longer bouts of expedition, because I clearly have not mastered the leveling system, and so it just takes forever to level. So I either want like a longer expedition where I can go more than 5 places, or I want more XP so that I can just get all the shit I want. So that's been frustrating. But yeah, cool. I would suggest it. It's fun.
Sweet.
That's my only game. I played 1 game.
You played 1 game a lot, though.
I played it a lot, it's
and
true.
You probably got more out of it than Caps got out of Skyrim.
You know what? I did, Caps, because I may have played a lot of this game, but I don't hate myself for it, and I don't regret the time
that
I put into it.
Thing.
Even if one of the guys that I hired recently, oh god, what's his name? It's terrible. I'm going to look it up, because it's the one that Jacob couldn't even stand, which is, that's a thing.
Is it Jewel?
No, his name is Monkey.
Oh, right.
His name is Monkey, and he's from India. And he looks like he looks like Aladdin, but his vest and tiny hat are blue, and he has a monkey on his shoulder.
Sweet.
So I'm trying to justify it with I hired the monkey, not the person, because there's clearly a monkey there. I also have Samson the Amazing, who is, I'll give you a guess, but he might be from either Ireland or Scotland.
I'm gonna go with Ireland.
I think Ireland.
What? So there's a guy in the middle who's got like a conductor's baton.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his name though. He's like Piotr
Ilyich. Piotr Ilyich.
He's a maestro. He's helping me out.
Okay.
I can also hire Jewel. She's from India, or Jasmine, also from India, or Bulgar the Appraiser. These all just look like they're from Aladdin though, so
Sweet.
I am in the Turkish baths though, so really, what can you expect? Besides Sheikh Uthman the Generous.
So that's all we've been playing.
Yep.
We'll be back in a moment with a review of Lovers in a Dangerous Time-Space.
Space-time.
Space-time.
Dangerous backseat driving.
Yeah. Like us on Facebook.com/Facerollin and SoundCloud.com/Facerollin, YouTube.com/Facerollin. We'll be right back.
All right.